Let me tell you that for a lot of people in my own team and in the government, when we received the proposal from Peter Greenberg to make this video, this film, there were a lot of people saying no. And it was clear because no president has ever done one thing like this. It's a little bit crazy because if you remember this image of the Mexican president, is almost the legacy of the old Tlatoani with all the power and unreachable figure. Thinking in a president ziplining or ballooning, it was a little bit complicated. However, as long my team was discussing if it was convenient or not, I was thinking, what could be the best places to bring there these guys who are interested in that. And finally, I accepted, with all the risk on that, for several reasons. One is that, as Gloria said, Mexico has a lot of things to show to the world. We are very proud about what Mexico is. Mexico has, for instance, the fourth largest biodiversity in the world. We have the same, very close to here, the desert of Sonora, but at the same time we have the rainforests in Chiapas and Tabasco and Yucatan. We have the largest city in the world, like Mexico City, but at the same time we have 1,000 small towns in the country. We have a very, very modern society in some areas of the country, but at the same time we have the most ancient culture in America. For instance, 3,000 years BC, the Olmecas were building their civilization. And the Olmecas were an original culture because probably other cultures learned from them, but they started a civilization for the whole region in Mesoamerica. And at the same time we have the things that human beings used to enjoy. The flavor of our cuisine, our music, the happiness of Mexican people. Because beyond our problems that we have, we used to enjoy life. And we like to be happy. Last year, we received more than 22 million international visitors, plus almost 7 million more traveling by cruise ship, plus almost 50 million more crossing the border, like some of you crossing for some hours to Tijuana and other places of Mexico. So a lot of people visit my country. And the point is, Mexico has not only the best beaches, because all of you probably know very well Los Cabos and the white sand of Cancun and the blue sea, but we have a lot of things to show. As Gloria said, I know the country, I could say almost in detail, for several reasons. All my life, since I was a child, I have been in politics. At that time, I was fighting against the government, against an authoritarian system, and I used to travel for that reasons, with passion from the hand of my father. We were traveling in order to talk about democracy, human rights, and try to wake up the conscience of the people. But at the same time, I had the opportunity to visit the same business people, doctors, but also indigenous people, communities. And I learned a lot from Mexico. And I had the opportunity to visit cities like Tijuana, and at the same time, small towns in the hills, in the Sierra Madre. I had the opportunity to visit the sea, and I had the opportunity to visit the big cities and the valleys. And for me, Mexico was, since then, a really strong and a big experience. Probably the most exciting experience for me is to know my own country. And I'm really proud of that. But the best of Mexico is not the biodiversity, are not the beaches, despite the fact that we have more than 10,000 kilometers of coast, are not the rainforests or the woods. The best of Mexico is not the old culture. The best of Mexico is the Mexican hospitality. Because when we say, esta es tu casa, this is your home, we mean that. And you can find any single family, even a poorest family in the country, when the mother say, open her door and say, esta es tu casa, she is really offering you her soul. And we believe on that. And the last reason why I accepted is because I love Mexico, I love my country very much. I have a passion for Mexico. And I know that in the future, there will be a different tomorrow for my people. And tourism, it's a very important tool in order to do so. Today, more than 7 million families depend on tourism in Mexico. And I'm sure that several millions more are able to have a job and a real income if we are able to promote the tourism as long it has this tremendous potential. I need to say that we have magical sites in any single state of my country. In this time, we only have the opportunity to visit some of them, and not all of them will appear in the film. However, I need to say, because I am receiving a lot of protests coming from governors and mayors around the country, that it was not my fault. No? There were only 50 minutes to do so, and we presented several options, so the fault is, well, it's in the hands, or the fault's beer on Peter Greenberg here present. So he is guilty about that, so I'm sorry for that. Nevertheless, whenever you want to visit a magical site and that site doesn't appear here, you can contact Secretaría del Turismo and can show you how magical Mexico is. Finally, my friends, I'm very sure that Mexico will be the country we used to dream that will be. A safe country, a prosperous country. Even today we have an economy growing at the rate of 5% a year, and we are generating more than 800,000 jobs. It will be a health country. We have created in 5 years more than 1,000 new hospitals and clinics in the country, and we are almost to reach universal health coverage for Mexican people. Doctor, medicine, treatment, and hospital for everybody. And of course, we were able to receive all the Americans that want to be attended in medical tourism in the future. We are able to do so, by the way. Today, a lot of people visiting Mexico. There are in Mexico living more than 2 million Americans already. There will be a clean Mexico, friendly with the environment. And we believe in the future of the humankind through fighting climate change. We are fighting climate change even today, despite the fact that we are a developing country still, but we believe that we can fight poverty and at the same time we can fight climate change if we are able to provide the means and the income for the poorest people in order to preserve the rainforests and the land that we are the owners. That Mexico, that different Mexico, will take place. And we are working really hard for that today. That Mexico will be a country in which our people won't need to abandon their families and their towns because of the lack of opportunities. In the future, no one Mexican will need to leave the country. The other way around, in that Mexico, in the future, there will be a lot of people visiting us. And we will receive them in the same way in which today we receive our tourists, with open arms and with the soul in the hand. So enjoy the film, but mainly visit and enjoy Mexico. Thank you.
It's an up-close look at an exotic and colorful land. And there's one man who knows this country best of all. His name, Felipe Calderón, and he is the President of Mexico. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is Mexico, the Royal Tour. The Royal Tour is a fast-paced, non-stop adventure that crisscrosses the country. And as we travel this land, we'll experience the culture, color, and vibrance of Mexico. So get ready, because we're taking you deep into the Mexico you haven't seen.